morning.
Good morning. Hi.
Because this is the face I make at Colby, and apparently you're Colby.
I'm Colby.
We're doing a bit.
This is Kate, and that's Karen and Ben back there.
Gotta keep separated.
So this is as far as the plan actually went for this swap. Where there wasn't a plan beyond this. So good morning and welcome. This is your cold open.
We've only got 4 of these left.
Don't know what.
And it's without a plan, which is very unusual for cold opens. I feel like our cold opens are usually super strategic, like right on point.
Scripted.
Like we've got it dialed, and we like say things in unison, and you guys are like,
And we say things that are important.
These professionals have this nailed. Today we're going to disappoint you with some random slapdash. Who knows what's going on?
Speaking of slapdashing really quick.
Yeah.
While the countdown was finishing, I was looking above at this, what is this called? A flag?
Yeah.
Some sort of flag cloth thing that covers the sun.
Skylight.
The skylight.
I think just flag is fine.
Thank you. Do you remember when we first started virching and we tried to tape a towel over
And it
the
fell
skylight,
down
and
on
then
top
midway through
of
the
us?
service, the duct tape
It just fell.
released and the towel just kind of fell and yeah.
If you're new here, I encourage you to go back a few years into the archives of Virch Church toward the beginning of
Check
the,
out what a hot mess we were then.
like go to like
We've
April
improved.
of 2020
We're talking
because
30 months.
That's ridiculous.
it was wild
Tens
times.
of months ago.
And compared to how it looks now, it will look as though we're in 1993.
Yeah, like Seinfeld reruns.
Like it's on VHS tape. You have to go rent it from the Blockbuster to watch it. It's a good time. I want to go to a block.
I do.
Let's go to Ben's.
That would be a cool place for a creepy thing.
Oh yeah. Guys, we went to. Can we tell them? Is it too early to tell
please.
them?
No.
We went to the best haunted. It wasn't a house. A haunted thing.
Haunted
last
trail.
night. Trail.
Scotty's Scary Trails out in Lake Jennings.
If
El
you are
Cajon.
in San Diego, 10 out of 10
Go.
would recommend if you like scary things.
I don't think 10 out of 10 would recommend.
I would.
We too recommend.
2 out of 2 would recommend. We can find 8 other people who are like us. It's fine. 10 out of 10 wacky people who like very scary things.
We stood in a
Highly
very long
recommend.
line for this, and the whole way in the line, I don't know what you were thinking, but the whole way in the line I'm thinking, I paid $20 for this, and I'm standing in a long line. I'm gonna regret this. I have 0 regrets. It was the best thing ever.
I was just thinking
I know.
the whole time.
You were just excited.
Because haunted
It was
houses are
perfect.
my happy place.
It's an abandoned amusement park.
Like literally,
With
like it is
legit old roller
actually a
coaster
real
running
abandoned
through it.
amusement park, not a fake one that they built for Halloween. Like that's what it
Ben,
is.
how did you? Ooh, I moved.
Ben,
the
would
room.
you
Ben,
10 out
how
of
did
10
you
recommend?
feel about
I was very, very scared. I swore a lot. I screamed a lot.
going through that with Ben? Was my favorite. Okay, so I should actually share on social media the screenshot of Karen and I texting about going. She's like, "Can Ben come with us?" And I said, "Yes, absolutely. I would prefer that." And she said, "Okay, good, because I think he's going to die." And I said, "I cannot wait to watch him die." And then you know what we did? We enjoyed watching him die very, very, very,
It was
very
his
much.
I was
first-
very gleeful about me going to my doom.
Yeah, we were.
It was his first.
overexcited
It was
about
your first time, right, Ben? That was
Yeah.
like your first haunted house experience.
His first like haunted anything. He'd never done any haunty things.
I've never done like the fun house thing, you know.
Oh,
carnival.
That was my
I've
favorite
never-
part. Was watching the two of you lose your minds.
Ben and I are the same person, and we're both apparently kind of stupid because what happened to us then? We went through this thing where they just trick you with lights that move around you. You're walking across a bridge, and they just make the lights move around you in a circular motion. But Ben and I were falling because we were so convinced that the actual bridge was moving.
the- you know,
was
we were
like-
like, I can't get up. It's the old funhouse thing where you walk on the bridge, but there's a tunnel around you that is spinning, so you feel like you're spinning.
The bridge was actually spinning.
I
We
was
were
like,
upside
I was
down on the
9
bridge.
beers in. I was just instantly.
Yes. But we'd had none beers.
None beers.
Anyway.
Hey, should we do church?
I guess. You don't want to keep talking about clowns chasing us and
Of course I do.
chainsaws.
Oh, hi.
When you're down and troubled and you need a helping hand, nothing is going right. and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I'll be there. You got a friend. If the sky above you should grow dark and full of clouds, and that old cold north wind should begin to blow, keep your head together now and call my name out loud. Soon I'll be knocking upon your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running as fast as I can. See you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yeah, yes, I'll be there. Well, ain't it good to know that you've got a friend when people can be so cold? They'll hurt you and desert you. Well, they'll take your soul if you let them. Oh, now, but don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Don't you know about winter, spring, summer, or fall? All you gotta do is call on me now, and I will be there. Yeah, yes, I'll be there. You got a friend. You got a friend. Ain't it good to know you got a friend? Ain't it good to know you got a friend? You got a friend.
Do you guys want to talk about haunted
So the
house?
scariest part of the haunted house. there was a little child in the beginning. Oh my gosh.
She was freaking
She couldn't have been more
terrifying.
than 7. Like a 7-year-old
I
little
blocked
kid.
it out of my brain, forgot it happened. That's how scary it was.
And she was
until
just
you
sitting
said
there
that.
like, ring around the rosy. I was like, high five, you are the raddest
She
7-year-old
was
child.
so good. And we have big reactions to things. I know this is shocking. What? We have big reactions to things, and she just stayed in character so perfectly. We were like razzing her and like cheering her on, and she just...
Adopting her, taking her home.
Yeah,
She
we
was
were
fine.
like, can we have you?
She handled it like a champion.
Karen loves to interact with the characters inside these things and try to like break them out of character. It's just her thing.
It's not even that I necessarily want to break them. I just want to make them. I want to make them engage with me. I don't want to just let them have the power. I would like to share it with
Is that why
them.
you were so happy when she goes, you found me?
That's all I'm ever wanting is for them to just do an improv scene with me.
You had a lot of
That's all I
interactions
want.
with that one last night. Like the gal who, we were like, are you going to do us a murder? And she's like, shh.
She was great.
Shh. And then she'd give us a whole story for
She
the
had us
murder
like
that was about to
meditate.
happen. And she had us meditate
She was
before
like,
we
you
went to our
taste
death.
better if you're calm. We have to do
Yeah,
other
you
things
taste better if
today.
you're calm. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. I pulled a lot of them today.
You sure did. You want me to just, I'll draw one randomly. The last time I pretended to be someone I wasn't was,
Karen and Colby, the Enneagram 3s, are like, 5 seconds ago.
I don't even know. Like, well, how do you know when you're pretending to be someone that you aren't?
That's the question.
How do you know?
Karen's like, no, really, tell me.
Someone answer, please. Please tell me. I mean, I think you have to know who you are first. And listen, it's complicated.
How was it phrased? It's on the screen.
The last time I pretended to be someone I wasn't was.
The image projectors just shouldn't ask this question.
Yeah,
all
I
of
guess
the image projectors are like, oh.
I realized I was teasing the 3s, but like really as an image projector, I don't know.
We need an 8.
Crystal.
Yep,
yeah.
there's
There
an 8.
it is. Yeah.
And there's a, yep, that's the internet. Yep.
Oh, are you saying there's the 8 to Laura?
Yep.
They never learned how to pretend, which isn't always a good thing. Oh yeah, no, I get that. There's some helpful parts of being an image projector.
On purpose or not on purpose?
Either way,
Either
Samantha,
one.
we interpret these. However
On
we want.
purpose is fun.
Yeah, I was actually trying to think of that. I was like, when was I in a play?
I mean,
last? Or-
I pretend to be. We talked about this last week. I pretend to be confident all of the time. I pretend to be sure of what I'm doing, or like we go play shows in public places all the time, and I'm super scared on the inside all of the time, and I just pretend to not be, which is technically pretending to be something that I'm not at the moment. But then who I am is a person who pretends to be. Yeah, that's fun.
I love that.
My favorite is when I like start an interaction with an accent and then realize I've been doing the accent, and now I have to decide whether or not to stick with it or just
Mercy,
like,
you always
fess
crack
up.
me up in these. I frequently pretend to be more patient than I feel with my kids, but is that patience? Yes. You're just doing the thing. You're faking it till you make it.
You're doing it right.
We did pretend to be American gladiators, and it was glorious.
It was. I wasn't
Spandex
pretending
and all.
then. That was my true self.
Oh, you know what my answer for this is? So the last time, but it happens all the time, was at a tattoo parlor when we did our flash tattoo thing. I always pretend that I don't do the job that I do, because it's just so much work in conversation. It's just exhausting. So the guy's like, "What do you do for a living?" And then I make up an answer because I don't want to have to explain all of the things.
That makes
And I
sense.
do like judge the situation first to be like, would this be enjoyable to go through all these layers with this person? But it's usually not, so I just avoid it.
Do you want to see a neat trick with the light the way that it is today with my glowy face?
What's the neat trick?
Watch. I'm awake. I'm awake.
Oh no.
I can age 20 years by just going whoosh. It's really fun.
The actual British people would like to hear your British accent.
Colby. No pressure. We live in a house, so in this house that I live in, there's one Aussie and 2 theater kids. Yeah. The Aussie just went, there's an Aussie, and 2 theater kids. So like even Fable, who will be 10 in a minute now, has a random accent that she like fades in and out of every day.
Sojourn as an organization is not going to provide Will Houston with his request.
Apparently this is the response to Will. Colby's like, no, we're protecting you. And more people want to hear it, but I think they're all the people who are in England right now.
I mean,
It's funny.
it's too much pressure. We'll bust it out for you randomly when we're not thinking about it, so stay tuned. You'll hear British accent at some point. When you
Karen
least
talks in a British accent every 5 seconds.
like 70% of the time. But I don't make any claims for its authenticity. Why would you? I don't know. People would. Oh, a conversation I need to have with myself.
Dun, dun, dun.
Aren't you glad you came here today to hear about scary things and then be held accountable to something? What fun.
To hear about scary things and then do scary things.
Conversation with my... That song is
So?
not what this is about.
So, what you got for me? What do you need to talk to yourself about?
Definitely representative.
Oh, yeah. I hear that, Mark.
Yep. What do I really want?
Ooh.
Here.
Most people need to have this conversation with themselves.
Especially a lot of people who
I
grew
ask
up-
people this a lot.
Right. Well, especially a lot
It's
of
my
us.
go-to question when people are struggling with something. Well,
What do you
really want?
Yeah, which we don't know because we grew up being told what we wanted. A lot of us, this is what you want. Well, okay.
Or are told that you shouldn't want anything.
Right. Like you have
If you
to
want
all these
something, it's
things.
bad.
Yeah, we have a rough time. Why the F? Why the F? That is the conversation. That's how all of the conversations with myself begin. Why the F?
That's very honest, Samantha.
I like that. I respect this honesty.
That happens to me too. We should chat about that. We should chat to each other about it, and that can be our conversation that we need to have with ourselves.
Conversation with each other.
That's usually how I do a conversation I need to have with myself anyway, is with other people. Is that not how you're supposed to do it? I don't know.
I don't think there's rules. Yeah.
Okay.
These are good. I'm just gonna shut up and let you
Yeah,
guys keep
people are
answering
answering
these.
these
They're really
way
nice.
deeper than I thought. Oh,
Just do the boundary.
yeah. I had this very recently talk with myself and did it, and I feel like a horrible person. But
Just
you're right.
Do the
I'm
boundary.
not.
You are
Not.
allowed to keep yourself safe. There's more than enough in what remains. Says Coleman Martin.
Man, y'all are the best. Oh, going back to the pretending thing really quick, I like Odette's.
It's not just the first 25 years of my adulthood. Paul, I think you're lovely around other people.
Yes, we do.
This is Sojourn. We have deep conversations.
As always, keep answering the old questions, but we're gonna do one more.
With ourselves, with us. Are you trying to guide me to pick this one?
Nope.
Okay.
Did
I'm gonna
it
do
feel
it
like it?
anyway. Yeah. If I could see into the future, I would want to know. ... If I could see into the future, I would want to know what the stock market is going to do.
No, you wouldn't.
I would. It's the most practical thing to find out because then I could just have financial.
And you're such a practical person.
I am always the most practical.
I don't know why I'm making fun of
I
her
was
so badly
I was
about
gonna make a
this.
joke and I'm not gonna make it. I am practicing restraint at this moment. Not about you. I was gonna make a joke about something else. If I could see in the future, I don't know what I would want to know. Not much.
I would want to know what all 4 of my children are going to like. Obviously, they have their whole lives ahead of them, and I don't like the whole like what they're going to be. But just like, I just want to see a glimpse of adult versions of themselves. I have an adult version of one kid. Oh my God, you guys! My kid turned an adult this week. I have
real
an
great.
adult child. This human sitting right here in front of you, I have an adult child, like a full adult child. Does this not compute with you? Because it doesn't compute with me. How?
No, I don't know how because you're clearly 19 years old.
Yeah. I'm 19. I have the body of a 19-year-old. I don't moan and groan when I get out of bed.
It's fine.
With aches. Okay.
My
Sorry,
knees
I'm
never
in my own
complain.
head. Who allowed this? What is that in response
Oh,
to?
the adult child. Who allowed your child to grow to be an adult?
Oh, yeah, I agree. Who did allow that?
We put someone in charge who shouldn't have been in charge.
But you know what? It's the coolest freaking thing in the world. I got to take him to get his first tattoo.
Yeah,
And
which
he's
is rad.
just an amazing
And he's
human.
making good choices. It's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I like Mercy's response. I always like Mercy's response. If it's worth it. You want to see if yourself would get a tattoo in the future? That's amazing.
Just gotta start with the first one, Will.
No. Yeah, see, lottery numbers. This is similar. Laura and I are on the same track. We're just looking for financial stability.
That's why you
You're silly.
I don't want to know the rest of the stuff. I want to find it out as I go. It's the only thing that I don't mind having spoiled. Guess what, Karen? You're going to be wealthy. Great.
As usual, I have to go back to one of the old questions because Holly answered it right as we were switching, and I like that. Deep.
That's a whole one. Also lottery number C.
Will I
Everybody's
make it
just as
500
superficial
miles
as me.
across Spain next fall without injury? Will you?
Neat.
I hope so.
I love that you're doing that.
I hope you make it.
I bet.
I think the answer is yes, but I'm not the future.
You're not the future. I'm gonna do that Cruella thing. The future.
I am the future.
That's right.
I am hope. It's my favorite line of the Sandman show. I am hope.
Oh yeah. It's a good show.
Laura, I got a tattoo when I turned 18, but I did not take my mom. Yeah, most people don't, I don't think.
She's a cool mom.
Oh, but Kristen did this too. That's fun. All right, y'all are funny. You just want
Yeah.
to know about the lottery and money. Me too, Odette. I don't want to know the future.
That's the thing. That's why the lottery thing.
Because you don't want to know
I don't
anything
wanna know
else. You
anything
keep everything
else,
else a
so, like,
surprise. I think this is that time where Colby bumper up to sus.
Bye.
We've co-opted enough of the time.
In the heat and in the fire, you see all that our heart desires. In the darkness and the flood, always with us and always love. Always with us and always love. Oh, love with us in joy and pain. Love with us in the mundane. Oh, love with us until the end. Always only our true heart's friend. Always only our true heart's friend. In confusion and questioning, when to futile thoughts we cling, when we're muddled up in shame, you insist that it's not our name. You insist that it's not our name. Oh, love with us in joy and pain. Love with us in the mundane. Oh, love with us until the end. Always only our true heart's friend. Always only our true heart's friend. In our aimless wandering, on the days we can't bear to sing, when we circle around and around, you remind us the lost are found. So you remind us the lost are found. Oh, love with us in joy and pain. Oh, love with us in the mundane. Oh, love with us until the end. Always only our true heart's friend. So love for each and every word. Oh, let all love's children come. Oh, love for enemies and friends. Love with us until the end. Love with us until the end.
So you just scroll in the pages and switch the pages tabs. So moments of gratitude, that's what we're doing now. That's what the little bumper said. And I was thinking right before we came up here, I had this flashback to, do you remember the first church that I worked at after college? Salem Alliance Church.
Oh, I was trying to figure out what that was. Yes, Salem Alliance.
There was,
We've lived a lot of lives.
in the lobby area of the church, there was like the big like mailbox area for all the staff members, and there was a lot of staff members. It was like a big old grid.
It was
of,
a mega church,
I don't know,
yeah,
like
it's
80
huge.
little mailbox, and that's where like people would, you get your mail. And I didn't get any mail. I was fresh out of college. Why would I be getting mail? But one of the things the church did is in the pews in the sanctuary, they had like little comment cards for people during the service to like write notes to the pastors or to anybody, whatever. They could write a little note of encouragement and like put them in some sort of receptacle, and then the church secretary would like put them in people's boxes. My point is that I can remember the first few times that I got the chance to lead worship, and even the Sunday or maybe two where I got to do something to equivalent of a sermon, and I remember that giddy feeling Monday morning of walking to my mailbox to see like, did anybody send me any like kind notes? And because I was the young buck on staff, like they did. Like my box was overflowing with the people's notes of gratitude for this young little
And because you're good.
punk kid who showed up trying to do a thing. And so reading some of y'all's notes of gratitude these last couple
I haven't
weeks.
even been able to make it through my inbox. Like I told Karen, like I haven't even caught up to the texts and emails yet that have come in since we announced that we're closing. I haven't even made it through them because I haven't had enough time because there's so many.
And each one you just want to savor. So
It blows my mind.
thank you. Thank you for posting them in the sanctuary. Thank you for texting them to us. Thank you for emailing them to us.
I thought when we announced it, it'd be like everybody would just disappear and we wouldn't hear from anyone, and I was very wrong about that, and I don't know why I thought that, just my insecurity.
So keep sending them, not just for send them so that we can share them with the broader collective, because it isn't just about you and me. And as some of these today will point that out, it's not about us at all. It's about the broader collective, which is what you're going to talk
So
about
let's
a little
share
bit
'em.
today. So we've got 4 to share with you today. So Kate, why don't you read the first one?
Ben's scrolling, right? Not me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I found Sojourn Grace Collective after reading Colby's book Unclobber, like so many people do. My older child at age 22 had just recently come out as transgender, and I was desperate to know it was okay to keep loving her, despite what my evangelical background had espoused. Finding a community of people who truly welcomed everyone, loved unconditionally, and took an active stance towards social justice issues was truly amazing. I think my first visit, virtually, I live in Pennsylvania, was in November of 2020, and I have only missed a handful of Sunday services since then. I've laughed, cried, marveled, and grown with you, and I don't think it's possible to truly convey how much you've helped me in reconstructing a faith that feels authentic and whole. Thank you. I love you all and hope we'll be able to keep some semblance of this community together. Wishing you all the best, and sent with a grateful heart, Melanie. Love you, Melanie.
Sorry, the music is gonna keep restarting. I didn't plan the music part of this very well. Tried to be all sentimental, but all right. So this person wrote this. They said, "Dear pastors Colby, Kate, and the worship band, I just want to say how much I've appreciated my time with Sojo. This community has renewed my hope that Christians actually can represent love, inclusion, and affirmation as God intended. Sojo has truly been the first place that I've felt I've belonged." How often do we get that? "This church will always mark a special place in my heart's journey of finding wholeness and spirituality. I know great things are still in store for you and for all of us. Thank you for adding that. For all of us, for all who've been encouraged by the ministry here at Sojourn. Thank you for creating a safe place to just be and belong. From Jen here in San Diego.
My heart has opened. My knowledge has expanded. Thank you, Sojourn Grace Collective. My Venn diagram has shifted to encompass more love. Thank you, Kate and Colby. Nan.
Love that image there. And then finally, Katrina from San Diego says, Sojourn gave me a place and a space to ask anything and question everything with no judgment and no quick or easy answers. It was definitely a place that I hold dear for being a crucial part of my spiritual journey. Thank you. Thanks for sharing these with us, and you can continue to send them in so that we can, yes, receive them, but also so that we can share them with the broader community. All right, let's do another song, shall we?
Love of mine, someday you will die, but I'll be close behind. Follow you into the dark, no blinding light, to tunnels or gates of white, just our hands clasped so tight, waiting for the hint of a spark. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the no's on their vacancy signs. If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, I'll follow you into the dark. In Catholic school, as vicious as Roman rule, yeah, I got my knuckles bruised by a lady in black. And I held my tongue as she told me, son, your fear is the heart of love. So I never went back. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the no's on their vacancy signs. If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, I'll follow you into the dark. You and me have seen everything to see, from Bangkok to Calgary, and the soles of your shoes have all worn down. The time for sleep is now, and there's nothing to cry about, 'cause we'll hold each other soon in the blackest of rooms. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the no's on their vacancy signs. If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, I'll follow you into the dark. I'll follow you into the dark.
Spinny chairs that can't be controlled. Am I a spinny chair that can't be controlled? Okay. Existential question. Oh, hi, loves. Collective has always been my favorite part of our name, Sojourn Grace Collective. In fact, back when we were choosing our name, I was passionately voting for us to simply be called The Collective. Mostly, though, I just really liked not having church in our name. When we started this thing, I was already pretty over it. Like, when we decided to found a new church, I was already as jaded and cynical and closed to the idea as it gets. And totally all in on creating something new. And I wasn't alone in this paradox, over it and showing up passionately. It's a funny thing starting a church in your living room when you're over church. The most beautiful thing about it is that so many folks, like you, who've walked through our doors were also over it. They'd show up and they'd say things like, I don't know why I'm here, I hate church. Or, I can't believe I'm doing this again. Or, my personal favorite, hey, I'm here, but I need you to know I'm not really here, okay? I need you to know that I'm not going to volunteer and I'm not going to get all churchy, okay? And then they'd keep showing up and volunteer. And they're in this room with us. And over the last 8.5 years, that has continued to be the phenomenon that is Sojourn Grace Collective. Over and over again, the story that never gets old. The collective of folks who've tried enough times now to be over it. The ones who've said never again, and yet they keep showing up. In that way, being a part of this collective has given me a window into the resiliency of humans like nothing else I've ever experienced. Because everyone here is ragged. They've seen some things, and they keep showing up to life and to each other. We're a collective of folks who've been burned by institutions, kicked out of sanctuaries, and even ousted from our own families. We've all known profound loneliness and wondered, do I belong anywhere? We're the outcasts, the loners, and the longing, and we keep showing up. And the why behind that showing up, even though we're done and over it, the why is clear to me. Why do people keep showing up after years and years of reasons to be all done? Doing this all these years, with this many tired in their bones people, I've gained insight into this motivation that it is the same for everyone. We're here because we want to be part of a collective. Every other reason to show up to something like this differs for everyone. Some of us show up wanting to understand new ways of reading the Bible, while others of us would be okay never hearing a Bible story again. We're all over the map in our spiritual and religious preferences and our desires to serve and create. But every single human who has ever walked through our doors or shown up virtually here has been deeply motivated by a desire to belong to a collective. So motivated to be part of something that they show up when they have every reason to believe that it'll never work. Everyone wants to be part of a collective. And the secret that's hidden from us in most organizations that we show up to in our society is a secret that we make abundantly clear here at Sojo. You belong because you have breath. You already are a part of a collective because you're human. So when you show up here, you simply rest into the reality that you are part of the whole. You simply learn to believe that you are enough, to believe what's always been true about you, that you were put here on earth to commune with every other living thing wherever you go. That community is just your DNA. It's who you are. The mystic monk Thomas Merton said that communities are where insight transforms into action. Humans gather together in groups and they gain insight together that then becomes actualized out in the world. So when we gather, we become a whole movement that changes everything. And here at Sojo, we've gathered to gain insight into our inherent belonging, and we take that out in the world to cultivate belonging everywhere we go, in everything that we do. We have become a collective of belonging doulas. As a reminder, a doula is a support person trained in the needs of the people going through the transformative experience like birth or death. They help you curate the space where the birthing and the dying take place, and in so doing, they drastically reduce harm and trauma, and they increase the connection and the growth and the beauty that can be found in these transformative experiences. Doulas support the full process of birthing and dying, so that folks are able to freely move through each stage of the process, including the grief and the struggle. At Sojourn Grace Collective, we have worked tirelessly at birthing a new way of being in the world. We've birthed an ethos of belonging. And at Sojourn Grace Collective, we've actively let go of old patterns, old systems, old theologies, and religious and societal structures that work against belonging. We've let those die. We're a group of people undergoing transformation. So, like the birthing room and the dying room, we act as doulas, belonging doulas. And as our organization closes its doors, I want desperately to remind us, for us all to remember, that Colby and I, as your pastors, are not the only doulas. And the organization itself is certainly not the doula. We're all here to walk each other home to ourselves, to support each other through the birthing of a whole new way of walking through the world, to stand vigil as we let everything that must die pass away. This is a give and take, back and forth. Be on the lookout for who needs a doula and step up when it's your time sort of job. And that lives on when Colby and I are no longer your pastors. You've been certified as a belonging doula, and your work is never done. You are walking, breathing sojos wherever you go. You are a place where it all belongs. You are a soft and safe landing place for folks deconstructing religion, for those questioning everything they once knew, for the outcast and the weary and the brokenhearted. You are a place where everyone knows they belong because they have breath. You are a place where folks can take down their armor and relax into the truth of who they are, shadows and all. You are the collective. You protect the space between us. You do that. In curating spaces with an ethos of belonging, protecting the space is a paradoxical practice that's required. If we said it all belongs in a flippant allowing of whatever sort of way, and who cares, it all belongs, it doesn't matter what we say or do, if that were the sentiment behind it all belongs, then we wouldn't actually be fostering a community with an ethos of belonging. It all belongs is not an allowance of anything and everything. It is rather a prophetic anthem we sing in hopes of reaching our ultimate goal of belonging for all. In order for everyone to experience belonging, not everything can be allowed. Like our birthing and dying metaphors, there are things not allowed in the room when a doula helps someone curate a birthing or a dying space, because some things are antithetical to those processes, actively working against them, and so those things cannot be allowed. And you, my loves, have become belonging doulas who fiercely protect. I've seen you doing it. The mama bears of the world. You are protectors of the space between us, and that lives on in you, in your life and your presence in the world as Sojo closes. And like every good doula, you also have become well practiced at holding the most difficult of human experiences in compassion and in grace. As a belonging doula, you have learned to normalize human experiences so that folks don't feel alone or crazy or too overwhelmed to cope. To continue with our birthing and dying metaphors, there are all kinds of aspects of dying and birthing that are disturbing. And one of the most profound roles of the doula is to normalize those experiences so that a person can move through the process emotionally and not get stuck. In the movie A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Fred Rogers is sitting in a room with a family who's preparing for a death, with a dying person there. And he gorgeously acts as a doula. He says to the family, dying is human, and anything human is mentionable, and anything mentionable is manageable. Our human experiences become unmanageable in a society unwilling and incapable of mentioning them. But the belonging doula, you, normalize human experiences so that the person can freely emotionally process them. My loves, I've seen the way you are well practiced at this now. You are such good belonging doulas. You show up and you protect and you hold and you make belonging known. This morning, I invite you to take a moment to see yourself in this role, to meditate on it, to see how this has become your entire way of being out in the world, not just on Sunday mornings when we show up here together. Can you take a moment to think of how you have done this work for for someone. Think of practical times and specific instances where you have acted as a belonging doula, and hold yourself in gratitude for how you have become that in this world. And then I invite you to think about a time when someone in this community acted as a doula for you. Think of a specific instance when you were going through a hard thing, a transition, a dying and a birthing, and you needed someone to doula you. And hold a space in your heart for a moment of gratitude for how someone walked alongside you. May we continue practicing together, becoming belonging doulas. In a world that conditions us to be separate and opposed, may we intentionally curate spaces and structures of support where belonging is our ethos. Because we are a collective of folks who know that we belong, and we act like it out in the world. The organization of Sojourn Grace Collective is closing its doors in a few weeks. But the collective is the collective is the collective is the collective. We aren't going anywhere. You aren't going anywhere. You are the collective. We are the collective. And always will be. Everything we've become together, solid, unbreakable. Everything we've experienced together, eternal. Doesn't go away, isn't lost. And our insight that we have gained together, that we belong and always have, that insight continues to impact the world in life-saving and life-changing ways.
We're missing a Matthew today. That's because Flemmy Grant is at a Dragon Spirituality Conference. And so we've been getting little text updates from Chicago, and it has been really beautiful to watch, I think, that journey the last weekend of all these folks out there who are also trying to do exactly the same this work as well, trying to find their way home with each other and doing this with drag and with celebration, which is amazing. So think about Flamey as she's out there in Chicago. This is a song that Karen wrote the lyrics for a couple months ago, I guess. It's become one of my favorite songs to sing. I bless the way you hold your tongue. When you find the room you're in, just ain't a listening one. I bless the way you change your mind. You find the thoughts you're holding are the healing kind. I bless the way you close the door. The house that used to hold you isn't shelter anymore. I bless the way you leave behind. You know there's something good out there you gotta go and find. Don't you let anyone turn you around. Now you know getting lost is the way you get found. Is the way you get found. I bless the courage in your doubt, the stubborn way you chase the truths you haven't figured out. I bless the patience in your grief, when it's pushing you to rise and when it's pulling you beneath. I bless the way you carve your name in the gate kept in the sanctums where they said you couldn't stay. I bless the way you make a home, the wild and in the weary, in the
precious white unknown. Don't you let anyone turn you around. Now you know getting lost is the way you get found. Don't you let anyone turn you around. Now you know getting lost is the way you get found. Is the way you get found. Oh, 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 oh. Don't you let anyone turn you around. Now you know getting lost is the way you get found. Don't you let anyone turn you around. Now you know getting lost is the way you get found. Is the way you get found. Is the way you get found. Is the way you get found.
I'm 19. I can get on a stool without hurting myself.
What if the words to that song there at the end, what if that's actually true?
That getting lost is the way you get found.
Yeah. Like, is it possible that one could just opt out of the process? Like, can you just be content not being found so that you don't have to get lost?
Sure.
Right there.
Okay.
Colby has deep questions for us this
I
morning.
mean, I guess so. You can do whatever you want.
I think a variation of that is the only constant that's changed, right? So we're just going to get good with just the fact that it's going to keep on changing, shifting.
It's a big price to pay, the getting lost part. So I just wonder. It's almost like the path is narrow and few find it. What do we got for communion today? Where'd you go?
Into Colby land.
It's a scary place in there.
Yeah, yes, this is the experience I'm having.
You're fine with like abandoned
Oh
theme
yeah,
parks.
take me to the abandoned theme park. But
Maybe
Colby
that's
has
where-
some questions about
Maybe
life.
that's
and
where
I-
you get found.
Come into my land.
Hey, you wanna try it?
last
You wanna go with me tonight?
Not the way I wanted to either.
Hard pass.
I got Rice Krispie
I
treats.
posted it on my Instagram stories, and Logan freaked out and was like, "No, no, no, no,
Logan and I are not the same.
no."
Where'd this Rice
Had the
Krispie
comments
treat
on the
come
wrong
from?
side.
What
Just sitting on
joy?
the table over there. I have no idea
It was
how.
weirding me out the whole service long.
It's weird. Yeah, I should have noticed. Beef and pumpkin stew.
Wow.
Ooh, I want that, but it's not dinner time yet. But I want that.
Baked green pea snaps and water.
My communion was too good not to start eating it.
Chocolate brownie protein bar. Do you want your piece of the sticky fruit
Yeah.
bar?
Do I have to touch it? Can you just... Yeah. Thank you. Wait, I'm not taking a whole bite. You know me. That's
Gosh,
a
Colby
big
takes
bite.
the tiniest bites of food, and I take the giantest bites of food.
I take normal bites of food, and I have a normal pace of eating.
Are you calling me abnormal?
That happens to just finish after everyone else is done eating.
Yeah.
This is this realization I had a few months ago, is that the way I see the world is just what I think is normal. So,
Look it up. How long should you chew your
Is that
food
a
for?
study
and
they've
how
done?
long
The
should
average
you...
amount of time that people take to eat and how
Yeah.
big their
I
bites are?
breathe really slowly because it's better for the body. I walk really slowly because I don't have a reason for that one. I just walk slow. I just like slow. I like slow.
Mark. Yes.
Normal's a fun word, isn't it?
I'm reading a book right now.
I
called
was
The
just
Myth
gonna
of
say,
Normal.
remember the book that you're reading right now? As you're calling yourself normal?
The Myth of Normal. It's about like how trauma
orange Skittles.
informs our
You still have
biology.
those Skittles in your pocket?
Oh, I need to read that.
It's so good. It's so
Skittles?
Yeah. Somebody's having
They're in my
Skittles
leather
for
jacket.
communion.
good. Oh, before I forget, Ben, when you were telling the church where Matthew / Flamey was at this weekend, all I heard you say was that. Here's what I heard you say. I heard you say she's at a dragon spirituality conference.
Dragon spirituality.
I'm like,
Oh, dragon spirit.
I didn't know that Matthew was into Game of
I want
Thrones
to be
that
a
much.
dragon spiritual.
That's what I want.
Dungeons.
Dragon
first
spirituality.
Dragons.
And then my brain was like, no, drag, new word, and final word, spirituality. Not. Anyway,
Hey, so
dragon spirituality.
Me too, Laura. It is like my soundtrack to life. I just
Everything is
walk
made up.
around,
literally everything is made up.
right? It's like really calming to sing that song to yourself as you go throughout your day.
Sprinters.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for helping him feel like he's superior.
I didn't need her help, but thank you.
Truth.
Dragon spirituality. Hey, so
She
Can
puts
we do
the
dragon
flame in
spirituality?
flamey. The
100%.
hits keep
Hey,
coming.
so
Karen and I
so-
are gonna do dragon
Hey, so-
spirituality.
hey, so
She puts the flame in flamey. That
Can we,
was good. That was quick.
all right, we're gone. I'm just gonna go with
Samantha.
where we're going.
Yeah, what?
That's good.
I'm gonna stop.
Donna also heard that. Yeah,
What?
dragon.
I kept
dragon
trying to say a
spirituality.
serious thing, and
Were
I'm
you
just,
trying
I'm
to
just
get us on
surrendering.
track, Karen?
I was trying to circle back around and make like a poignant communion ending, but I'm gonna surrender and just go with the dragon.
You
Oh, yeah,
guys,
take
if
your-
you're
take
ever
your drink.
tempted to stop showing up as this thing ends, you might want to tune in because I have a feeling we're just gonna get weirder and weirder.
The wheels have come off.
Or more and more
wheels
normal,
are
depending on your perspective.
Yeah, true. Normal.
The most normal.
For my liquid
Maybe I'll
communion
start
element
picking
today,
at myself on camera.
I am.
We had a whole conversation about that earlier. Sorry
Kicking
you missed
yourself?
it. Picking.
Oh,
You missed it. You were busy trying to get the thing going. You were busy
Oh,
working
was I?
and I was busy talking.
Picking my nose. Does it
Unusual,
look like
I
I'm
know.
picking my nose?
some things have never changed. Some things never will. My communion drink this morning is coffee with something I did this week for the first time in my life. I bought for myself
You're welcome.
coffee creamer
I give myself all the credit for this.
this week because Kate introduced me 2 weeks ago to this oat-based pumpkin spice coffee creamer.
It's so good. It's so good.
Turns out,
And it's non-dairy.
and I've tried like the pumpkin. I'm not really a pumpkin
Yeah.
spice guy, but like the oat milk part of it with the pumpkin spice in the creamer, I'm like, so I actually bought some
It turns
like
out
for myself.
you're a basic white girl.
All my dreams are finally coming true.
Welcome. We're so glad to have you.
I now know who I've been pretending to be for 40 years. Not a basic white girl.
The truth comes out and sets you free.
Yes, Laura, totally. It's a whole world out there. A whole conference
Yeah,
happening in
there's
Chicago.
a literal entire conference of spiritual dragons.
Isn't that amazing?
Isn't that great?
Oh, but Laura's like, I can't do stuff slow. I like to get her done.
Yeah.
So you can name the value of going slow, but like Paul says, the thing you want to do, you can't do. The thing you don't want to do is the thing
That
you
is
do
correct.
do.
I'm really bad at doing like zoos and museums.
I don't know, Alexa. Hey, Alexa, is it pumpkin spice or pumpkin and spice?
I think just pumpkin.
Get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. You guys don't have an Alexa, so it didn't really work.
No, it doesn't work. It'd be neat if it did. But we don't. We're scared of the robots.
That's reasonable. Speaking of reasonable, we've got just one or two house notes. And the one house note is come join us for one of these last. We have a few people here today that requested not to be on camera, so I'm not going to do that thing where I film them. But they're here. And so for the next
It's
three...
really good that you set that up.
Otherwise, it would have been like, hey, hello.
Yeah, I forget people have boundaries.
You'll just have to trust us.
So yeah, come join us. There's spots here on the couch. There's chairs open. Most people have sort of signed up for the last few services, which is understandable. At this point, we have way more than the allotted number for our final service, October 30th. Like allotted meaning what this room sort of can handle. But it's at that point where we still might be here and just sort of cram everybody in here.
Oh, for the final
Yeah,
service. There's a
'cause
lot of people
there's like
coming,
30
so,
people that have
yeah.
RSVP'd for that so far. if that keeps escalating, we may change venues, but I think we can maybe fit 30 people.
Nobody
in here.
bring any like matches. We can't have an emergency.
I'm glad you said that because I could see like a few people just bringing
Listen.
matches.
This is a wild group.
Okay, I was today years old when I realized they're different flavors.
What?
Pumpkin and spice, and then pumpkin spice. There's 2 different flavors.
Well, Alexa, you've got some.
I think she
You
was
got
just.
some
explaining to
explaining
do.
to
I
do.
think she was just naming 40% of the Spice Girls.
Oh, baby.
Pumpkin and Spice. She's the one that often got overlooked. They kept begging her to change her flavor, and she's like, "No, I am Spice."
Squid.
Remember when you turned on your phone or computer this morning and decided to come to this thing?
Oh Lord,
Won't you buy me?
mercy.
Is that it? Is that what we have to say this
Yeah,
morning?
that's it.
Okay.
No, that's it. We have found that horse, and we have beat her.
Right,
Beat her
That's a
dead.
terrible,
It
terrible
is.
saying. Most old sayings are,
Yeah.
actually, but that one's like blatantly.
Let's
Like
change-
most of them, you have to look into the history of it to realize how awful it is, but that one's just like, hello,
terrible.
I'm awful.
Yeah.
Let's just change the animal to something that we would feel.
To an
less-
animal we want to beat?
Yeah.
What is
But it's also dead.
Do you guys not have those?
You know what I'm saying? Like the animal's dead. Why do you need
I
to
just-
beat it? Why is your anger that
I
bad?
just thought you didn't like the saying because horses are like pretty, and we rode one time, and so like it's close to home.
I'm
But
gonna beat this dead squirrel.
squirrels are
What?
cute too.
Beat this dead
What?
kitten. See, it doesn't work.
What?
Doesn't really matter. It's already dead.
Possum.
Hey, so listen.
I
here's the-
don't want to
No.
beat a dead possum.
I'm
Why?
coming
Because
in.
it might not be dead.
Derailing this trade. Listen, here's the deal with that song.
Spits.
Let's go back to this. Here's the deal with
Hyenas.
that
I thought
song.
about hyenas. Beat that dead hyena.
This idea of getting lost. So I
Karen's
think
gonna give her-
I'm doing my sermon now because this is going wacky.
I think this is the first comment from
giving
Nancy.
their answers.
Nancy is like, "What did I get into? What is this? Mosquitoes? Yeah, we could beat that dead
Okay, Karen.
mosquito."
You were born a compass, as we have previously discussed. But for a lot of us, we were handed maps. We were handed GPS instructions. We were handed guidebooks that did not work with our internal compass. And we began our lives working in opposition to our internal compass and being told that we couldn't trust the compass that we are. So that song for me, the getting lost, is about throwing away the map that you were given, throwing away the GPS coordinates that you were told you had to find, and trusting the compass that you have had in your soul the entire time. And that's the work of the whole thing, is remembering that you are a compass. You are a compass. You are belonging. You are contagious. Belonging is contagious. And you have it in you all the time. And see.
So be brave.
And do you want to beat a dead possum?
I would for sure beat a slug. I would beat a slug any day.
Oh, she
I
would.
apologize.
This
I
is
would
what
beat
I'm
a slug.
saying.
You were
This
right.
is
I was
what I'm
wrong.
saying.
You were
I
correct.
would
the
beat
right
a dead
answer.
scorpion.
I judged you, and I should not have.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
didn't-
I would beat
I
the
didn't need
crap
this
out of a
moment
dead
to
scorpion.
happen.
I did beat
I'm glad that it
crap out
did.
of a dead scorpion.
Oh,
Slugs,
yeah, you did.
Squish them. Beat them
Okay,
all.
I'm fine
Multiple
saying you're
times.
right on this one.
Why
You're right.
are slugs? Like, what is the purpose they serve?
This has become like normal girls now.
Somebody
Sean's
yell the
just
thing.
sitting
You
here
guys
like-
are here. Yell the thing
In
you're supposed to
person.
Oh
yell.
yeah, in-person people yell the thing.
Be brave
Because you're a child of God.
and be kind.
Because so is everyone else, except slugs.
And scorpions.
This is what it's about. This is what it's about. There's no purpose for slug. All right. Love y'all. We'll see you next week.